So here we are today in a beautiful bed and breakfast, and we're here actually to celebrate the release of a local film and the premiere that's happening. I'm with Tim and Michael, who are the co-directors and co-writers of Spiderwack. Now, it's a much longer name than that, so tell me, what's the film's name?
So, Dr. Spiderwack's mind-boggling compendium of fantastic urban beasts.
Easy for you to say.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what kind of a film is this? You guys tend to work in the genre of kind of a comedy, but how would you describe this film?
So this one is an urban fantasy. It's got a lot of characters. It's based off of initially the Spiderwick Chronicles, where they find a field guide with magical creatures. But ours is about finding a field guide full of magical creatures, but they live in the city. So you've got things like, instead of a hobgoblin, a snob goblin. You've got a leprechaun artist instead of a leprechaun. And so we really play on a lot of things with society and things, how fairies might disguise themselves in the urban setting. And so our main character is a vlogger who's out looking for, the sassy squatch. He's looking for urban creatures and no one believes him, and he stumbles upon this house and this book.
Now, Michael, we're standing in this bed and breakfast, and what's the name of this bed and breakfast?
The Innisfree.
Innisfree. And there's a reason we're here. You guys shot quite a bit in this bed and breakfast, and there's a kind of a historical tie for you here.
Yes. 702 West Colfax is where I was brought up as a child, up until about 6 years of age. And I knew this would be the perfect spot for our movie because it has this gothic, Baroque look to it. And again, back to the urbanization, this kind of counters the urbanization element. And the other point I want to make up or say to you is that the urbanization forces the fairies to have to adapt to civilization, to the metropolis.
Right, instead of being out in the wild.
And so you guys, how long did it take to film and put this together?
So most of our projects have been fantasy-based parodies, like Harvey Potter and the Ridiculous Premise or Dork of the Rings. Took like 3 years. This one's been 5 to 6 years or more in terms of filming, partly because of just our teaching jobs, but also the idea that COVID came up. We had a location of ours burned down, and so a lot of adapting, and we did a lot of additional green screen work. We've definitely been working on the project for a while, and are really excited to finally share it.
That's very good. And where can people see the premiere?
So we're going to be at John Adams High School on Friday, June 21st at 7 p.m. So for the public, we've got tickets available online or at the door. And I just want to say, even though the film does have a lot of puppets and it is fairly family friendly, maybe kids under 12 or so. I mean, there's some political humor, some societal humor, a few words here or there, nothing major. Nothing major, but
so maybe a 13 and up audience
or so. Nothing too bad.
Okay. So in putting all this together, that's a long time and a long process. Yes. So how did you guys find your talent? Is most of your talent local?
One's from England.
Awesome.
But that's not quite local.
That's London. Kieran Shaw from Lord of the Rings and Narnia is a producer, and we zoomed him in and had him in the film.
Right.
A lot of local actors.
Yeah, a lot of Michiana area. We brought them in, and we've also have a family of actors, if you will, because as most filmmakers, over the years work with people constantly over and over again. You just begin to get that Vulcan mind meld, and everybody can finish each other's sentences, and it's great when working with the same team.
Yeah, they know what to expect, and we're going to get the film done eventually, and they know that if they put their time and talents into it, that they will see a result.
So you mentioned a couple of the other films that you guys have done. It's very similar in feel as far as comedy. Kind of, you start with taking off of a movie that people might know. How many have you guys done in the past?
Well, at least 6, right?
Yeah,
full length.
Right, and some of those include dramas and other things. In terms of the parodies, we've done at least 4 of those. Our last one being Jurassic Park, and with this film it was a little different because we kind of Spiderwick Chronicles. Yeah, it's a known property, but it's not kind of the same as, say, Harry Potter's notoriety. So we work in Fantastic Beasts. Harry Potter, some other fantasies, and even some of our other parody films kind of have appearances, references within this film.
That's very cool. And like you said, it's kind of a mixture of live people and puppets. And we have a couple of puppets here.
Right.
How did that kind of work into the film?
Yeah, and we have a lot of people in animal heads too, like our Minotaur and our Unihorn. Yeah, so this is the blue one is the Sniffler, based off the Niffler from Fantastic Beasts. So he's always got a cold. He's got the sniffles. And then we have a Goblin puppet here that was and both of these were made from scratch. The Goblin puppet works in IT, and he was in a previous film of ours, The Throbbit. And we loved the sculpt so much that our friend Todd Davis did on them that we utilized them in this movie as well. So they were great. And then we have a lot of other, like I said, crazy puppets and creatures and things. Oh, I play the internet troll.
That's true.
So it's very much like a Big Bird character in the sense of like I have my arm up in a puppet and I'm in a big blue outfit and I'm doing one arm and someone else is doing my other arm. So it's basically like we call it like this is like Jim Henson on $1, you know, but it definitely, it definitely, we make no bones about that. You can see the rods, you can see different things, and it's we kind of like that there is a bit of an 80s feel to some of the puppet work and different things.
So you guys are really involved with the filmmakers here in the area, and in fact have been heavily involved and even helped start the Riverbend Film Festival.
That's right.
And so it's really been a big community here, hasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And we work with Mid-America filmmakers, and then I teach media production and film for South Bend schools. So it's just really, we've definitely been in the community for a while doing films, and we'd love to support what people are doing here.
Yeah. And I teach IT over at the same place with my good friend here, my brother. And the convergence of IT and film is just absolute. I mean, they go together. You can't do it without
the technology.
Because we did also have CGI we employed. Right. So multiple different approaches to filming that were used.
Now, filmmaking, even TV, the access to equipment has become a lot easier. And so it's a chance for people to get out and tell their story. How would you guys encourage people if they wanted to get a start in telling stories, especially in the film realm? Where should they start? What should they do?
Yeah, well, I say don't hold back. Everyone has a phone in their pocket that can film really good quality. Sure. Start small, start simple, have fun. YouTube has tons of videos. Try to meet other filmmakers in your area, whether you're a young person or an older person. See what's going on, like with Mid-America Filmmakers or the Riverbend, and come out and support things like this. You'll meet people, networking. It'll help you with your projects or get you ideas. It's always fun to work with other creative people. They'll help encourage you and feel you're not alone.
Yeah, and a lot of times also, you could start with something biographical, autobiographical, I should say, is what a lot of people write from the heart and so forth. Because I used to teach screenwriting. And that was one of the first things we would do as exercises is what is your story? And how do you apply it? At least that breaks through the ice. The big thing we like to emphasize is if you start it, you got to finish it. And don't be a perfectionist. You've got to finish the project.
Yeah, you got to see it through. Too many things get abandoned because people have an expectation on their first project that it should be perfect. It should be Sundance ready or whatever. Just do it.
I like your suggestion. Start short. Right?
Oh, definitely short.
Make it manageable. Telling stories is twofold. It's the story part, and then it's the visual part, and that's that way for TV too. And so that's a great. So again, tell me where and when people can see the film.
Okay, so they can go to our spiderrack.com where it will be available as a digital download and a Blu-ray, but they can see it in person this Friday, the 21st of June at 7 p.m. at the John Adams High School Auditorium.
Very good. Well, Tim and Michael, thank you so much for
yeah.
sharing with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending the 5 years to get it pulled together and to share with our community, and we really look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, well, thank you. We thank all our cast and crew for sticking with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it takes a lot.
And our producers who funded it.
Right.